I've never wanted to have a kid for 7 specific reasons. Number one, I've never felt like there should be more of me in the world. And don't get me wrong, I think 1 is funny. You know, 1, ha-ha, good one. You know what I mean? Like, let's get tickets. But I believe in survival of the fittest, and this is not the fittest.
That is some of the Netflix special, The New One, by Mike Birbiglia. He's also the author of the recent book called The New One, Painfully True Stories from a Reluctant Dad. And during the pandemic, Mike has been hosting the podcast, Working It Out Virtually, along with comedy events live from his office. All of the proceeds from his New Year's Eve show will go to 6 food banks and to nonprofits. The award-winning comedian, storyteller, director, and actor Mike Birbiglia joins us now. Mike, great to see you. Thanks for being here. So what's really cool about this podcast is that we actually get to sort of watch how the sausage is made. I mean, if you're lucky enough to see a big comic doing small rooms, working it out till he gets to his Netflix series, you get to see some of this, but rarely do we get to see 2 creative, funny people sitting and deciding what works and what doesn't. So how did this idea come to you?
It's the strangest thing. I mean, when we closed up shop in March with live shows, I just started doing Instagram live events called Tip Your Waitstaff. We'd raise money for comedy club waitstaffs across the country on tipyourwaitstaff.com. And then, you know, we raised a bunch of money, and then we thought, well, how do we get this out to a lot of people? And so I did this podcast, Working It Out. And now that we really can't do live shows, we created a virtual studio. Check this out, Willie. This is camera. This is camera 3 right here.
Wow.
And this is camera 1 right here. This is all my office, my production office in Providence, Rhode Island. We got camera 4 up here. We're just trying to do what you do, Willie, but we're doing it in our little offices.
I was going to say that is vastly more sophisticated than the setup I have right now. I need to talk to some of your producers. That's incredible. But I love, as a fan of yours and a fan of comedy in general, I sort of love, there are few podcasts out there right now that kind of pull back the curtain on comedy, where you kind of dig into the process of it. Do you like sitting down with another comedian and kind of hashing these things out? And is there any hesitation? You've said before, it's sort of like a magician revealing how the trick works. Any hesitation into opening the doors to your process?
At first, a lot. I mean, that's the thing is comedians, we're very proprietary over our material, because once it's out there, it's out there. And so much of jokes are just surprise. And at a certain point in the pandemic, it just became clear, like, we have no choice. Like, we're just going to entertain people as best we can. And it's actually just forced me to honestly just write more jokes. Like, you'll see over here on the board,
he's moving again.
It's just joke after joke after joke. So, like, this is one that's like, it's like I love pizza so much that I get excited when I see the word plaza. That's right. They're just called plaza, and because the word pizza itself it is exciting. It's got, it has pizza in it. The A is a slice. Each of the Z's has 2 slices. It's 5 slices in one word, which is a phrase I call onomatopoeia. And that is either the best or worst joke you will see in the virtual show.
With flashcards, Jonathan Lemire.
Yeah, hey, Mike, Jonathan Lemire here. Kudos on the setup. My home studio is basically a ring light and a Red Sox photo. Wanted to ask you, though, it's obviously very different now. You're not performing in front of an audience. As sophisticated as your camera setup is there, you're missing that feedback from a crowd. So talk about with the challenges you faced in terms of doing that, and then secondly, when do you think you would get back in front of a crowd again? When would you feel comfortable heading into a comedy club, a business obviously that's really suffered during this pandemic?
The downsides of this is obviously there's the latency of it. The timing goes away because there's a half-second delay, even if people have good internet. But the upside is I'm looking on this screen here and on this screen here when I do my shows. There's about 700 people, and I can see pretty much everyone. I can see everyone in their living room with their cats and their dogs and their rabbits and their Christmas trees. And in some weird way, it's more intimate than my typical live touring shows. And so that's cool. And I also do a lot of interaction and participation. So that's cool. When we'll get back, I don't know. I mean, I was in the summer, I did some outdoor distance shows. I feel like in the spring and summer, we'll see more of that. And I'd say the hope is that we're doing something indoors by the fall. But again, it's a big nobody knows.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.